Good morning. Well, at least it is morning here. Right, so I've been doing a few different breads of late. I say a few different breads. I've done the fudgies, which I think I did a video on them. And I've been doing some baguettes, which have turned out to be quite a hit. Certainly in here with, my daughter doesn't generally eat much of the bread I'm making anyway, if any. And she actually likes these baguettes, so that in itself, that's a big commendation, that one. So without further ado, we're going to make some baguettes. I thought somebody had asked me, and anyway, can you do a video on making them? So I thought, right, okay, really simple bread to make, a baguette. In fact, most breads are really simple to make, to be fair. There's just a little bit of technique involved, but I'm sure, you know, it's just about following basic principles. If you get those right, none of them are hard, you can do it. And that's kind of the crux of it, is if you follow the principles behind, then, you know, you don't need to do much else. You know, the bread, a lot of it does it itself, to be fair, with the rising and resting and all the rest of it, the proving and what have you. I'm learning the terminologies as we go on, to be fair. So I'll probably look back at some of these videos and, oh, what did I say that for? That wasn't the right. But that's the whole point of what we're about. So what Jason's Kitchen is about is I'm on a journey of doing things, starting off kind of from the beginnings. I've only been making bread for a very short space of time. I've been doing pizzas and stuff like that for a little while, but that's kind of a different beast. It is making dough, but that's kind of a bit of a different thing. But in essence, we're only talking about flour, water, yeast, salt, and some other things if you want to put them in. So one of my favourite little bits of gadgets is my scales, and I think in the kitchen you've got to have some basic gadgets. So one is a set of scales, accurate scales, dead important, especially for doing stuff like this, because you need to get your grams right. If you don't, you're going to make inconsistent products at the end of the day, and we want consistency. So we're not frustrated with ourselves to think, why did that not work this time when it worked fine last time? So my kind of train of thought is, if I can do the same, I should expect the same results. And if the results aren't the same, then I've probably done something different or used something different. And then that's where my learning kicks in and says, oh, that made that difference, did it? So enough waffle. I know what you're thinking. Right, I thought you were making baguette. So let's crack on with it. So, I mean, you fancy new machine, which last one electrocuted me. Thank you very much, Kenwood. That had to go back, and it got checked out, and they said, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. It's your electrics. Anyway, I had my electrics checked out, and they're fine. So they came to a bit of, oh, well, our machine was fine. So they sent me a new one in the end, and kind of that was it. So yeah, hopefully this is not going to kill me. But we'll soon find out, won't we? If you see any sparks, any bangs, me sparked out, it's the machine. But anyway, we shouldn't say that, should we? Because right, let's not tempt fate. So we've got flour, first ingredient, and let me just point out flour. It's the biggest ingredient in bread, and quite often people look for, well, let's just get the cheapest bag of flour or wherever. But let me tell you, when it comes to making stuff yourself, if you put the best things in to start with, you're going to come out with a better result at the end. If you're using, and don't get me wrong, if using the cheapest flour is your only option, using cheap flour is better than using no flour and actually producing something. That said, if you can get yourself a little bit, and we're not talking major amounts here. I think the bag of flour that I'm using, well, I don't buy bags anymore, I buy sacks, is about £2.40 a bag, and it's Matthew's Cotswold I'm using. And the one I'm using at the moment, it's a 12.5% protein flour, and the protein is important, what we talked about before, for the production of the gluten, so that when it's activated with the water, produces the stretchy stuff, the gluten, that forms our the structure for our bread. So that aside, because we don't really need to know, all we need to do is, are you going to put some flour in the bowl or not? So here we go. 500 grams. So I'm using 12.5% stuff, and if I'd put that in a bit better, it wouldn't be all over the place. So this measures it for me rather than me set of scales. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, isn't it? So a good set of scales you need. Temperature probe. Definitely need a temperature probe. Takes all the guesswork out of cooking stuff, whether it be meat or cakes, even bread. I use it for bread now, just to absolutely make sure that it's cooked to the way I want it. So 500 grams of flour in there. Let's have a go where I like things right, you know. 504, why has he done that? Yay, 500, there we are. So, bread, let me get rid of the flour, because I'm in confined spaces in here, absolutely confined. So, yeast, 7 grams, instant packet. Dry active yeast, you can use fresh yeast if you want. I think fresh is probably about double the amount of dry stuff you put in there, but I'd check that one out. Yeah, don't take my word for that one. Anyway, you don't have to take my word for anything. You can always check it out online. I mean, I was doing a thing on eggs, and I think I was saying about you should store 7 grams in a bowl. You think you can get on with it. So that's 7 grams in there, right? Let's zero that. I want 10 grams of salt. 10 grams of salt, let's get that in there. Right, so 7, 6, 7. See, I'm having a look around the corner now. I pointed this so you could see it, and I can't, which is a bit daft really, isn't it? 7 grams of salt. Sorry, 10 grams of salt, even 7 grams of yeast. And the last ingredient, most important, is actually, I'm going to add one other just as a bit of a trial today. So I use this powder. It's called bread improver or dough improver. The one I get beyond bacon beyond beauty. It's what a lot of bakers use, and what it does is it conditions the dough. It's basically one of the ingredients I think is vitamin C that goes in there. And what it does is it helps improve the rise. It also helps improve the keeping quality of the bread. Makes it just a little bit softer. So I'm actually going to stick 5 grams in. This is only a trial, so forget about this. This doesn't have to happen. You forget I'm doing this bit if you want. This is for my own benefit, this. So let's get that in. 2 grams, 4 grams, 5 grams, 6, 8, that'll do. 6. I can put up to 10 grams in there, so it's not a problem. Zero that. So get that zeroed. Right. It's not going to zero. There we go. Got flour on it. Right, now we want 370 grams of cold water. And some of you may ask, why are you not putting warm water in? We're always told to put warm water in bread. I tell you why, because we're using a machine. And the machine creates heat when it works. Well, the machine does. But as it's working, as it's mixing the bread through friction, we forget about that, it actually starts making the dough warmer. So we don't want to put warm water in to start with and then warm it up again. So it works better using cold. So when it comes out and you feel it, you'll actually feel it's got warm. So we don't need to add warm water. Just take my word for that one, or you can check it out. So 370 grams, let's get that in. So like I say, the yeast is one side, the salt is the other, and 370 grams. I'm having to look over the side there. Oh wait, come on. 300, it's just good. Well, 3 grams. We don't really care. Yeah, that's a little bit. That's fine. It actually makes things a little bit harder for me, which is good, because you'll see me probably struggle a little bit. Well, I won't be struggling, but you'll see it when you're handling wet dough. There's a couple of little techniques I use, and you can get. It's easy to get around. So in the meantime, I'm just going to get this going. Let's put this in number 1, if we can. There we go. Slow to start with, and all we're doing is we're incorporating, if I can bring it across a little bit there, incorporating the flour into the wet stuff. That's water, isn't it? Yeah. Just get it going, and then once we get it going, we can turn it up a little bit. There we go. If you put it too fast, too quick, you end up with it. See, I'm getting used to this machine. That's too fast. Speed 3, that'll do. And that's going to do its thing now for 15 minutes. and we'll get back to you. Yeah, I was saying, in the meantime, just to kind of give you an example on things, taking word for it, I was doing a bit of a video on eggs and saying like eggs is, when you get them out of the box, the bottom of the egg is actually the top that you see. And the reason is there's a little air sac at the base of the egg, which if you store it upside down, the air sac's at the top. And it helps the egg keep longer, and it helps to centralise the yolk and other things like that. But it's a thing storing it like that. And then I was watching something which says I got a tip about storing the eggs upside down, the box upside down in the fridge. And then I suddenly realised what it was is before they actually started putting the eggs the right way, upside down in the box, it must have been the right way up. So the tip back then, years and years ago, is and people are still putting the eggs in the fridge upside down, which is the wrong way around. But so it just goes to show you should check out your little tips and your facts and find out whether they're true or not. So there's a little thing for you, a little food for thought, as it were. It seems like we're making bread. So this is doing its thing, and I just want to show you. Actually, it's probably a good thing to do, just to show you what a bit of a mess it looks like in the bowl. If you can see, notice how it's gone all like sticky looking in the bottom. And it's looking as though it's kind of created a bit of a mess. Well, that's good. That's saying that it's starting working, and it's starting to work on that gluten. So what happens, the more it mixes and starts stretching this gluten which is in, it starts working it, it's developing it, it's getting stronger. So it's actually strengthening the dough bit by bit in there. So at the end of it, we'll have a look, and you'll see it'll probably, that pooling, which I call it, will have disappeared, because the dough will be like holding itself, it gets stronger. Imagine about elastic band, it's pulling itself as the elastic gets stronger, it's actually pulling itself together. So that's what's happening there, and that's why we need it. So that's it for now. We'll see at the other end. I've waffled a bit longer than I like to. This should be the quick stages, but you got all that for free, since I don't charge. So there we are. There's our baguettes on the go, and you've got a chance to have a bit of earache off me for free. It's all for free. You can always fast forward it, turn me off. Unsubscribe. Oh, don't unsubscribe. You're upset. Anyway, that's it for now. So we'll see you when this is finished, and we'll go on to the next bit. So see you soon.